Hello there. Um, all right, yeah, I don't even know where to start with this video. I took a long break. I mean, I know that's for sure. I think the last video I posted was sometime in like October or something like that. It's like, am I quitting CS? And the title of this video is like, am I returning to CS? And I'm gonna answer that question, but I'm gonna answer it in a long form. Okay, if you want the short answer, it's probably like pretty soon. But the long answer you might find interesting if you're pursuing a career in Counter Strike of like going pro, or if you're pursuing anything for that matter of like trying to master something. Just like a lot of stuff I learned from over the break, I'm gonna be discussing and a new approach I'm gonna have to like my pursuit of a career in Counter Strike, if that's even gonna happen. So, um, so yeah, I ended up taking a break. It's been like 7 months. I think I last played with Notorious in August, and then I end up just not finding a team, and then end up just like hating the game. Honestly, I was like so burnt out. Some of my old teammates would invite me to play, and I'd just always say no. I'm just like, nah, busy. Nah, I'm doing this. Nah, I'm doing this. Just never play the game. I still aim trained for throughout most of it, most of the break, because I always found aim training enjoyable. But yeah, most of it, I just every time I think of Counter Strike, I just a bad taste in my mouth, man. Like I swear to God, it was just a horrible taste in my mouth. Like someone like tell me like, "Hey, you want to play CS?" And I just like would feel disgusted. And it's like, why am I feeling like this is a game I used to love? So it's a lot of stuff I learned recently about that. So I mean, I guess I could just start with that. There's a lot I want to talk about. So the whole feeling disgusted, I actually sat with this recently. I was like, why do I feel disgusted when I think about Counter Strike? And I realized it's not actually the game that makes me disgusted. I would smuggle it, like I'd have the idea of Counter Strike would pop in my mind, and then there'd be a lot of things smuggled in with the picture of Counter Strike. And some of the things that are smuggled in were um, the need to practice, right? The need to grind, spending hours every day grinding. This camera go back and focus. Um, Another thing that was getting smuggled in there when I think about Counter Strike is like neglecting friendships, neglecting life, like doing stuff. I was so different during my break, man. Your boy had a girl, man. Your boy had a girl, and like, dude, I was doing stuff like every day and just going out, and that was the best I ever felt about myself. Well, no, cap. Nowadays is, but it was just a different me, just a completely different me. I was doing shit every day, and I was like, I think about, hey, should I go back to playing CS? Should I try and find a team? And my mind would instantly go, fuck no, fuck no. Like life is too good right now to go back to the bullshit I was doing, and so that's what I did. I was like, I'm not going back to CS. It's not fun to me right now. I don't like the game. I'm not going to pursue it. I don't find it enjoyable, and so what I had in the back of my mind was like, I'm just gonna wait until if I want to come back because it's genuinely fun again, then I'll come back. If not, I won't come back. And so, yeah. So initially, I didn't realize this till like recently, man. Like that's like kind of like the results of the break. But like when it first happened, dude, I was crushed, man. I was like, just like I just felt like my passion for this game just like it was just gone, just straight up gone, zapped out of me, and I had to grieve it. Like I deadass had to grieve Counter Strike for like a month. I gave it up, and I was like, I think I'm never gonna play this game again, and that fucked with me hard, dude. Like I just like a month, like weeks, bro, of just like going on walks at night, just like deadass, just like I deadass crying, bro. Like I was like, fuck this, like I've spent so much of my life pursuing this, and I don't like it anymore. And so I grieved the game. I deadass grieved my pursuit of going pro. It was hard, but it was one of the best things I could have ever done. I would not take it back for the world. And this is not just the opinion of someone who's coping because it appears that they're quitting or something. I might come back, I might not. And if I were to come back, which is very likely, um, that grieving period was the best thing ever for me. And I'll explain. So I pretty much had to lose everything that I would rely on in order to address what was actually going on deep inside. Because Counter-Strike was a band-aid. The whole YouTube shit, that was a band-aid. Aim training was also a band-aid too. Just like it was a distraction from like what was going on actually internally, you know. The girlfriend was also slightly a band-aid. I mean, it was a good relationship, but I ended up losing that as well, and that made me realize a lot of other things about myself too. So I lost fucking Counter-Strike, my passion for it. The whole YouTube thing, I gave that up too. I was like, that was supposed to be my backup plan. Ended up going back to school. That was good. I mean, I'm still doing that now. It's a whole different like plan I have going on right now, which I'm very happy with. But yeah, just a whole different life change. I had to grieve pretty much how my life was set up, and I straight up had Counter-Strike as number one in my life in terms of priority. It was like Counter-Strike, fucking. Dude, I don't even remember how it was set up. I just know it was not how it should have been. Right, like number one should be like God type shit. You know what I mean? Family up there, like 1, 2, and 3 should be like God, family. You know, take care of yourself, stuff like that. You know, like good shit. And for me, it was like Counter-Strike, YouTube, streaming, like so backwards. And so yeah, I had to like grieve that whole period, all those things. I had to like I essentially gave them up, and I was convinced I was done. I'm like I'm fuck this game, fuck this shit, dude. I swear to God, I was like fuck this game. Which is so strange probably to hear from your perspective because of how passionate I would seem in a lot of my videos, which was genuine. It was actually genuine. For a good portion of my videos, it was genuine passion. But I mean, you guys could probably watch some of those videos back, especially when I was in my super grind period on YouTube where I was posting daily on the second channel and stuff. Dude, I was just recording just to record. And I had this need for views. I had this need for subscribers. I had this need to make it in some aspect. I had this need for recognition, respect, validation. And so I was trying to achieve that through either going pro, becoming a famous YouTuber, famous streamer, Counter-Strike streamer, just blowing up on Twitter, whatever the fuck it was, just stuff like that. Building a great physique, you know. This whole mindset, as I realized recently, has it literally invaded every area of my life. And the solution to how I pursue CS now has also invaded every area of my life, right? The solution applies to everything, which I will talk about shortly. But yeah, dude, I mean, dude, I posted a video like a couple weeks ago, some fucking schizo video at like 3 a.m. talking about like self-image, and that was also a symptom of this whole need for validation. I was cutting weight like crazy because I realized it was because I got broken up with, so I was like, I felt like I wasn't good enough, and so I started like trying to improve my physical appearance and overdid the cut. Right, dude, I literally had a week of insomnia. But that's what I'm saying, bro. I had to like, dude, you don't even fucking know, man. I lost pretty much everything how my whole life was set up for the past like 5 years pursuing CS. It's just a lot of selfishness, man. It's a lot of selfishness and pursuit of external validation, and a lot of that shit came crashing down, rightfully so. The best thing that ever happened for me, but it was also one of the most painful things ever. And so yeah, let me think, because there's a lot of stuff I want to touch on during this break, dude. I guess I could start with this too. If you're scared of taking a break from Counter-Strike, right, you probably need one. Okay, I knew I was burnt out for like a year, probably longer than that, and I would try and take a day off. I would take a day off to cure burnout, a chronic case of burnout. You think a fucking day is gonna cure that? No, like it's taken me 7 months, and I still don't think I'm healed from this burnout yet. So, you know, I mean, I've heard Glaive, like if you're scared of taking a break, bro, that you got to really dive into like why you're scared of that. Like, why do you need to go pro? That's what I really had to sit with, right? It's because I felt like I wasn't good enough, and that stems from like childhood stuff. Not saying I had a horrible childhood. I didn't. I had a great childhood, but just messages I would tell myself because of my problems I had going on. Right? I mean, I could just be open about. I struggled with like OCD, anxiety as a kid, and I'd always get in trouble for it. And uh, as I realize now too, that OCD literally invaded this area of my life. Right? Becoming so ritualistic. Even in my IGLing, I don't know if you guys noticed that my IGLing. If you're on my team, you probably realize that. Fucking Trevor's probably gonna be like, "Yeah, I know." Like, sick of my shit. I guarantee you, was sick of my shit. How like ritualistic I wanted to call and how perfect it had to be. I was like super controlling, and that's how I was with every area of my life. And so, I mean, I realized that is because when I was younger, that I had a big problem with OCD and stuff, and I'd always get in trouble for it. And I literally would always tell myself, I would always tell myself, just like, you're defective, you're retarded, like you're not like other kids, something's wrong with you. And this was literally like the core of my identity is that I'm broken, I'm not good enough, something's wrong with me. And so for a long time, I just accepted it, but then I tried fighting back, right? Which actually just makes the problem worse because if I start pursuing like I'm just coping with the issue instead of actually addressing the emotions there. It's like, oh, I don't feel good enough. Okay, let me go look for external validation to feel better. That's never going to solve it. In fact, it always makes it worse. I would get this feeling of not feeling good enough or worthy. It's like, oh, let me go aim train for an hour. I'll feel better then. And I would feel better temporarily, but at the price of that feeling growing stronger because I neglected it. Every time that feeling would come up, I would feed it with more productivity, more grinding, more work, and it would temporarily go away. And that worked for years, but the feeling kept getting stronger, and I needed to feed it more and more and more to keep it away. And so that's why you'd hear me, bro. You could go watch past videos. I'd be talking about, yeah, dude, my days would be like, I wake up, aim train for a half hour, go to the gym. After the gym, go to the sauna. After the sauna, I meditate. After meditating, I go to work. While I'm at work, I aim train. Then I watch an enemy VOD, and then I watch a team VOD, and then I prepare for practice, and then I aim train again. And then after that, I come home, team practice, and then it's a fucking VOD review, team review. And then after that, I go on a walk and reflect about my mistakes. And then I go to bed. Like, that was legit my days, bro. Because I had to feed that monster, like so much to the point I was on some cringe like alpha grindaholic shit, bro. Like, it was so cringe, like looking back at it, and it literally led to like just full on burnout, and it led to like panic attacks and shit, bro. Just horrible anxiety, like horrible anxiety. And then when I quit CS, right, I still didn't address the emotions that were there. So I ended up replacing CS with physical appearance and needing to go to the gym, or I would replace CS with literally anything I could grind, martial arts, whatever the fuck it was. And then I would just grind that. Then instead of, if I'm not grinding that, then I grind something else. Skateboarding. Okay, if I'm not grinding skateboarding, then, oh, I got a girlfriend. I was legit grinding my girl. Grinding my girl. No, I wasn't grinding my girlfriend, but like I was low key treating the relationship like it was like a grind. It's like, okay, like, how can I make this better? Instead of just enjoying what I had. You know what I'm saying? And I did that with life. Everything in life. It's just like, what's the next thing I can get? How do I level up next? Instead of just accepting and appreciating what I currently have in front of me. And the more I look at what I didn't have, the worse my anxiety and my shame would get. Because I'm looking at what I don't have versus all the stuff I do have, right? And so that was like a big part of the solution, was just like, well, the first big part was accepting I have a problem, right? Be like, dude, I struggle horribly with anxiety. I struggle horribly with body image issues. I struggle horribly with the need for validation. Right? I had insomnia for like a 2-week period because of how bad I was cutting weight. I couldn't sleep it was horrible, dude. Horrible. Literally felt like I thought I was going crazy. And it was the best thing for me because it made me actually finally address the issues, that I'm currently still addressing. And so the big thing was just realizing that I don't need more. Straight up. I don't. Like, life's not going to end if I don't go pro. Right? Life's not going to end if I don't get another girlfriend. Cool. So be it. There's so much I could be happy about. And there's so much I should be happy about that I currently I'm becoming happy about because I'm realizing it now, you know? Yeah. Where do I want to take this now? So yeah, I guess that was part of it, just accepting where I'm at. And it's low-key relieving a bit, just being like, okay, like, dude, because part of not accepting where you are is still feeding into the problem of looking at like what you're not at. Because I'd look back and like, dude, I used to never feel like this before. I used to never get this bad anxiety. I used to be able to sleep at night. What is that? That is literally the same thing I was doing before, is looking at what I don't have. Where am I at currently, right? Kierkegaard, my brother was just, I'm super into philosophy and stuff, and my brother was telling me about Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard talks about how one enters despair when they lose their connection with their infinite self and also their finite self, right? And if you lose connection with either or, you enter into despair, right? And your finite self, or your infinite, is like your potential, who you could be, your imagination, right? Like your flourishing life, stuff, achieving things, going out, pursuing goods, like just being passionate about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Imagination, right? And then your finite self is your flaws, your weaknesses, your limitations, who you are as a person. And I went from either end. I went from like neglecting my infinite self pre-Counter-Strike and just sitting in despair and just sitting with just my flaws and stuff, to neglecting my finite self and just trying to pursue my best self in every category possible. Martial arts, fucking skateboarding, fucking Counter-Strike, aim training, YouTube, physique, working out, right? And then I've neglected my finitude, my finite self. And it's like now I'm coming back around and just accepting all of me, right? And that's okay. So shout out Kierkegaard. That's one of the things. The other thing I realized too is that like the big part of like the burnout for Counter-Strike was just like the need. I do it with everything, every area of my life, and tell me if you could relate to this. I would have, now I realize, is that I didn't feel good enough as Sammy base, right? Sammy, just raw Sammy, that he's not good enough, right? And so with anything I would pursue, I would need like extra credit. I would need a potion buff, right? You ever play like Terraria or something? You go into a boss fight, you pop a bunch of potions, right? Or Minecraft. Before you jump in the PvP arena on factions, you pop your strength potions, your swiftness potions. That's what I was doing with every area of my life, right? So with Counter-Strike, you could tell me if you relate to this. If you're pursuing going pro, before every league match, the days of league matches, fucking aim train in the morning, right? Demo review the other team. Fucking go through I had note cards for grenade lineups and shit, and I would grind my ass off. I'm like, because I'm not, I know now it's because I wasn't confident in my base self. I wasn't confident enough just to show up to the game and play and have fun. I needed to make sure I win, and I would just do all these extra things. And when you do this, bro, you signal to yourself that your base self is not good enough. Do you think Zywoo, like, this is why you see pros, and maybe you don't see a lot in the esports scene, because I don't think the whole mental health thing is top notch in the esports scene. You see a lot more in traditional sports because they have the money for great mental health coaches. Bro, the best players, they always talk about how they just enjoy what they do. They're passionate, like the best of the best. I'm not talking your average pro, because your average pro has a lot of shit going on. They have a lot of flaws that people don't realize. I'm talking like pinnacles of the sport, right? They just show up and have fun. Like fucking Magnus Carlsen, bro. Bro just shows up and smashes his opponents. And he's in a weird spot now recently, but the best just enjoy their game. I think the guy who wrote The Inner Game of Tennis, he said he realized he conquered the inner game, the inner mental game, when he was at like a grand championship and he was losing to his opponent. And he didn't care because he was actually having fun and he was learning while he was losing. Bro, I saw George St. Pierre talking about sparring, right? He's a UFC fighter, one of the GOATs, George St. Pierre. And he says that a lot of guys, they lose their careers in the gym because they go too hard during sparring. He's like, that shit needs to be playful, because when it's something's playful and fun, that's when you try new things, because you're fucking sparring with your friends, joking around, throw a spinning back fist or some weird spinning kick. You're like, oh shit, that landed. I might add that to the bag, right? Or when you're playing Counter-Strike, you're goofing off with your friends in a pub. You're like, hey, I'm gonna just fucking jump through the smoke. Oh shit, I killed him. And his back was turned. Maybe that was actually a timing right there. Oh, I'm gonna write that down. You learn more when you're just having fun. And then this is the other thing too, bro, is that I realized I had this horrible self-talk with myself, right? I'd always look at all the stuff I'm missing out, all the negatives. I never looked at all the goods I was doing. And so I would purposely try and force this. So like after games or after just events in my life, I'm like, okay, what's something good that I can acknowledge? Now I'd sit there and acknowledge all the good things, and I try and ignore like this negative self-talk of like the negative identity and like stuff I would identify with, which is like, it's a good habit to do. But dude, when have you ever like got mad at yourself for getting out in a game of tag or like freeze tag or hide and seek as a kid? Like you might have been like, oh fuck, that sucks, but you're never like, fuck dude, I'm such a failure. You wanna know why? Because you're having fun. You're playing a game. You're having fun and enjoying it. And it's like, if you naturally approach the game, as something fun to enjoy, you're not gonna sit there shaming yourself. When something good happens, you're gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? I just hit that crazy shot. And you're gonna be like, oh, good, that I didn't know I was capable of that. Cool. And then when something horrible happens, you're gonna laugh at yourself because you're playing a game. You're like, dang, I should not have peeked that. That was stupid, right? Like, if you just approach it as something fun, the rest of it just falls into place. You don't have to like go out of your way to look at positives about what you did that day, or go out of your way to try and like combat negative thoughts. You don't have to. You just approach the game from a playful standpoint, and the rest naturally falls. And if you can't approach the game from a natural standpoint, why? Why can't you? Okay, I can talk about myself, and maybe some of you guys can relate. I felt the need to be successful. Why? Why did I need to be successful? Why? I couldn't play around because I need to win the scrim. I need to learn something from this. I need to go pro. Why? Right? Why is this not coming into focus? That's the real question. This fucking shit ass camera, right? Why do I need to go pro? Oh, because I don't feel good enough. This fucking fuck. Yes. All right, we're good. All right, we're good. But yeah, that's like the real shit, bro. And when you can connect to that and grieve the need to go pro, right? Or this need to look cool on stream. That's what I had too. I was like, I gotta come off as like the cool. I gotta come off as like the cool fucking the smart CS player, right? The smart IGL, right? I needed like, bro, you don't even understand how much need for validation I had. I just couldn't be myself on stream. Some of it would show through a little bit here and there, but dude, it was just bad, man. And so I don't know how to like wrap this up into something short. This is gonna be a long video. It's just, dude, if you're in a place where you think you're approaching burnout, right? Or if you realize that you might be pursuing this game out of needs for validation, I don't know, if you can relate in any way to how I was and everything I just talked about, I really encourage you to take a step back, because you're not going to be able to see the wound that you have if you have a band-aid over it, or if you're distracted looking at something else, right? If Counter-Strike is your distraction, how the fuck are you ever going to be able to put Neosporin on your open gash on your arm? You're not looking at it. You're looking over here. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, step away. It's okay. And if you don't go pro, that's okay too. Life goes on, man. Like, and I'm not saying this to give up, because there's a lot of there's so many cringe ass motherfuckers I see on Twitter where they're like, they get to the point where I got to, right? Where they get burned out. They spent all these years fucking grinding, and they neglected life, which thankfully I didn't neglect horribly my social life during my grind. I definitely neglected a little bit, but I would try and make space for it, which I'm going to make way more space now. But yeah, there's a lot of these people on Twitter, like, you can tell when they got to that point and they're so fucking cringe. They're like, yeah, dude, just finally got a job. All you motherfuckers playing, bro, you got to quit that shit, man. You guys are wasting your time. Like, you're never going to go pro. Like, once you get a girlfriend and get a job like me, like, you'll never want to go back. And they're right. but they're also wrong. Like they just approached it wrong, right? Because if you genuinely have a passion for this game, cool. Don't quit. Just don't let your passion get corrupted. That's the problem. And that's what happened with me. My passion for this game was corrupted by my need for validation. And that need for validation was present because of my internal insecurities and stuff from childhood and stuff from other things too. Just like getting rejected, like, or breakups and stuff, like just stuff I had built up that I never wanted to address. Like that was the real problem. And it corrupted something, a genuine passion for this game, man. Like it legit did. And it corrupted a genuine passion for a lot of things in life, right? For me, at least. So I'm not here to be doom and gloom, quit, don't. But don't be afraid to take a step back, right? Don't be afraid to grieve your need to go pro. You don't need to go pro. I'm telling you right now. You do not need to go pro. Life goes on. You will be happy with something else in life. And everything that you did pursuing this game will benefit you going forward. Okay? Let me get that straight right now, because this is something I wish someone would have told me forever ago. Okay? Because now once you realize this stuff, you can now approach the game with a genuine passion. And you are going to learn a billion times faster with a genuine passion. You're able to stop before you burn out. You're able to enjoy the game and be 10 times more immersed because you're having a blast versus needing to aim train. Dude, I was aim training fucking 4.5 hours a day at one point. That's retarded, bro. Like, what am I doing? Like, and I would just do it because I had this to silence this fucking voice in my head. Like, oh, you're not good enough. Like, you have to practice, dude. Like, that's this fucking camera. There we go. Okay. But yeah, dude, like, oh my God, man. Oh, it's like I feel like a fucking like veil has been lifted out of my head, like, or whatever the saying is. I don't know. But does that make sense? Like, I hope this makes sense, man. And if you are terrified of grieving this game, I get it, bro. Trust me. Out of everyone you could probably see on YouTube, I don't want to gas myself up. I'm probably the most that you can relate to. Maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of other people who love this game too, but I don't think you understand how much of a need I had to go pro. And if you think you had a good need, you're probably like in a similar boat that I was in, and you will make it out of it, bro. I'm telling you right now. And you can fix your corrupted passions and come back with a new mindset. And that's what I wanted to get to, was like the solution, right? Is that the solution I had that I wrote down. So essentially, I grieved Counter-Strike. I grieved the need to go pro, and I pretty much set up a life. I was ready to set up a life. I still am pursuing this if I didn't go pro. So I went back to school. The goal was psychology, right? Get a master's in psychology, start practicing therapy with my dad. I get an instant job. I can schedule my hours however I want, and then I'd have more time to grind Counter-Strike. And then hopefully at the long term, I'd end up as a sports psych, or end up being picked up as a team to be like a coach or something, right? I love psychology. I love esports. I wanted to implement the two. I still want to work with teams no matter what happens. And so that was my safety plan, right? That was my backup plan. It's like, all right, we got something set up. Like, this is golden. And even if I don't end up on an esports team, I'll be able to do therapy. I love that. I love that shit, dude. I love talking to people. I love getting deep. As you can tell from my channel. Just fucking come on. We're back. And so, oh man. What was I saying? Oh my God. All right. Oh yeah, the solution. And so, yeah, I grieved it, right? And I realized if I continue needing to be me plus potion buff Sammy, that is not sustainable. That is not a life I want to live, right? That's not a life I want to live. I cannot. If going pro requires me to be how I was before for the last 5 years, I want nothing to do with it. And so when I talk about how I'm returning to Counter-Strike, this might make a lot of you workaholics similar to me, might make you gasp for air real quick, right? You're gonna, what? What did you just say? I'm going to play this game for fun. What? That's crazy. That's possible? I don't know. I'm gonna try. And that's what I realized is that if every time I interact with Counter-Strike in my pursuit of going pro, it's me plus me plus potion buffs, right? Me plus 2 hours of aim training a day, me plus anti-stratting, me plus team prep, me plus team practice before I play. I never gave myself the opportunity to see if I'm good enough to play at a high level by having fun. And so I automatically assume that I'm not good enough. I can't just show up and play. You know how many fucking teammates I had that would show up and just play and outfrag the shit out of me? Trevor, right? Like, dude, like, I thought he was retarded, bro. I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking slacker. And in reality, like, he had something going for him. He just enjoyed the game. He still does. Like, I'm sorry. Dude, he'll know what I'm talking about, bro, because we were like exact opposites, bro. We were exact opposites. Like, bro would just show up and just, what are we doing? Oh, nice. Like, and just play the game. And I'm like, I'm fucking stressing because I have like all these notes. I'm like, dude, I prepared this for practice. Fuck, we didn't go over the strat. Fuck, we're behind. Like, oh my god, I didn't aim train for 4.5 hours a day. Fuck, dude, I only aim train for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Fuck, dude. Oh my god, I'm so behind. I'm not gonna be able to play good tonight. Like, do you know what that's like telling yourself? Like how that will make you relate to yourself internally? Like, it's so just wrong, and it feels right in the moment because you're like, you're doing productive things, but in reality, you're just harming yourself, dude. Like, if you can't go pro having fun, if I can't make this decision for you, right? Just think about this yourself. If you can't go pro having fun and having a life outside the game, like, say like you were given the option, you can go pro, but you have to be a workaholic. You have to grind for 12 hours a day. Are you gonna take that? Like, be honest. Would you want to take that? Does that sound enjoyable? Right? You see these pro players, they look miserable, right? Wasn't Boomich like fucking? It was like a bunch of. I'm not gonna talk. Okay, I don't know. You see these pro players, bro? They just look miserable. Some of them like just so sad and depressed, and it's like, is that a life you want to live? And then you see some of these pros, right? And they're having a blast, like fucking Apex. Like, that dude's into this shit, right? I mean, he's not always having a blast, but like, I don't know. You can see him rage sometimes too, but this fucking camera. But all right, okay. So that's the first question, right? If the second question is like, okay, if you had the option to go pro by just having fun, like, doesn't that seem better? Okay, so let's see if it's a possibility, right? And I'm not saying to never practice or nothing. It shouldn't be like, it's like, how do I say this? My whole mentality was prep work, right? I saw this from like Healthy Gamer when he's talking about, he's applying this to dating, which I would do this for dating too. It's like, before I ask a girl out, I'm like, fuck, I gotta make sure I look good. I gotta fucking get a pump going. I'm at the gym right now, fucking, get fucking hits on chest and shit. Like, and then I go up to the girl and I'm like, trying to look my best self. And I never give myself the opportunity to approach a girl is just me without any potion buffs, right? Without any little pump going on or extra little hype up shit. It's like, let me just approach. It's literally just me. And let's see how that goes, right? I never gave myself the opportunity to see if that's successful. And so I would always assume that it's not. Same goes for Counter-Strike. I'd never give myself the opportunity to just show up for a game or play a season for fun and see how successful and good I'd play. And guess what? Guess what? Right? No one's gonna fucking believe me when I say this, right? I grieved Counter-Strike, okay? Gave it up. Like, end of August. The falling out with Notorious. Not falling out. I'm still cool with the guys. They're dope as fuck. We just didn't see eye to eye. I left the team. It was gonna happen regardless, right? I was not in a good mental state to play. Realizing it now. So, grieve the game, give it up. And my buddies, someone, I think Andrew, InfoHip, used to be on my team. He texted me, he's like, hey, yo, there's a LAN in Chicago near you. And so I'm like, oh, shit. I asked some of my friends, I'm like, hey, you guys want to play? Like, my IRL friends, my shitter friends, bro. Dog shit. Except for one, Sean. He's all right. And so we play. We go to this LAN. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what happens, right? These are the friends I play with to have fun. Like, we just goof off. And so that's what I did. I'm like, I'm just going to go here to have fun. Like, I'm going to try, but I'm going to have fun while trying, right? I'm not going to go full, like, this is the thing. You don't want to go full brain rot, right? You're not throwing rounds you're having fun, right? You're enjoying the game, fun competitiveness, right? You don't want to go full brain rot. You also don't want to go too full serious mode. Just have fun, okay? So that's what I did. I showed up to LAN, have fun. I played the fucking best I've ever played. I was on straight up donk shit. Dude, we lost. Like we lost, right? I think we won like a couple maps, and these are my shitter friends. But I had the best time I've ever had with Counter-Strike, and I played the absolute best I've ever played. My aim was on point. My calls were on point. I was fucking doing everything. Entering, top fragging, IGLing, fucking throwing supportive utils, smokes, opping. Dude, I think I had 3 1v5s on LAN. I was talking so much shit too. I'm fucking screaming across the room. And literally, there's like I had a Deagle 1v5. 5 bullets, 5 headshots on Mirage. 1v5. Right? On like an eco round. I had like I had 2 1v5s on Dust 2 against the same team. Or I think it was 1 and then 1 on Mirage. And then I had like a 1v4 and then almost another 1v5. And none of it was recorded, bro. None of it was recorded. They didn't save the fucking demo because they had us do it. They didn't set up the servers right. There was no LAN servers. They had us invite each other and play like in a private match. So there's no demo. There's no recording. They didn't have a video replay on. I couldn't stream it. I can't get these games back. But they're for me anyways, right? Right? No one could believe me. I don't give a fuck. I know what I'm capable of now. That's what those games are for. I played the absolute best I've ever played. I shocked myself. It was a blast. And then I didn't touch the game for another 4 months, right? So I'm probably coming back. I'm like, let's see if I can reconnect with that part of myself who just plays for fun. I'm gonna give myself the opportunity to see if I'm wrong and if I'm right about this theory that playing for fun, you perform better, right? And if I want to practice, I'm only gonna practice if it's enjoyable. I'm not gonna practice because because of a need to practice. I'm just gonna show up, play for fun, and see how that goes. And if I do horribly, so be it. I got my job lined up ahead of me. I got a whole other game plan going. Cool. I'm happy. Right? And if I'm streaming too, right? If I come back to streaming or YouTube, I'm only going to do it if it seems enjoyable. Like right now, this video I'm recording. I'm having a blast right now, right? A lot of other videos I would record in the past didn't have a blast. Especially when I was trying to do like sponsorships and deals and I had like requirements to record a certain amount of videos in a month. Like it killed it for me. Killed it. Same with all the needing to edit, needing the thumbnails and shit. Like from now on, dude, if I post a video, it's gonna be so minimal. And I don't care how many views it gets. It's gonna be for the people who really care about deep stuff like this, you know? Like I don't expect this video to blow up, right? But there's gonna be a couple people out there who are gonna relate to it heavy. You might go pro from it. I don't know. And they're gonna be like in an interview later on, like, bro, the Samar video, bro, like that shit changed my life. I don't know. Hope that'd be sick. That'd be sick. But that's like the whole approach I have now. It's like I'm not doing it unless it's fun. Well, it's not that I'm going to avoid things that are hard. It's just that like it should be like almost like 80-20, right? It should mostly be fun, man. And then you throw in a little bit of grinding, a little bit of extra work, but that also should be enjoyable in a sense too. Like it should never feel like a chore. And so in order to keep your passions not corrupted, you have to realize what things might corrupt your passions and turn it into a need instead of a passion, because a passion isn't a need. It's something that you just enjoy, right? So if you feel it becoming a need, find out what's making it become a need. And then also guard your dopamine, right? That's another thing that's going to help too with this keeping the game fun is making sure I'm not brain rotted all day, because if I'm constantly scrolling or, you know, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, then that's super engaging and everything else becomes less engaging in comparison to that. And so other things become boring. So it's like guard your dopamine and protect your passions. You know what I'm saying? And a good way to guard your dopamine, I got shit talk about that where it's like avoid dopamine stacking, right? My phone, it's all in black and white. And if you look at my phone, here, if I turn off sleep mode, the bottom of the screen, it says tails, right? If I turn it on, it'll say heads. It switches randomly. And so what I'll do is before I drive, if I get in the car, if I open it up and it's randomly on tails, I'll be like, okay, I can't listen to music. If I open it up, if it's on heads, I'm like, okay, cool, I can listen to music while I drive. Or if I'm aim training, right? Or practicing smokes. This is dopamine stacking, where you stack several things on top of each other to make it more engaging. You don't want to abuse it all the time. So, or like working out. If I'm at the gym, I'll go to the gym, I'm like, fuck, I got tails. Okay, I'm just going to work out. and it's still enjoyable. Right? And then, but just the more that you need to stack things on top of each other, the less the base activity remains enjoyable for yourself. That almost corrupts it as well, because it fucks with your reward circuitry. So guard your passions, guard your dopamine, and sit with yourself, bro. Don't be afraid to take breaks, man. Don't be afraid to take breaks, bro. And if you are terrified of taking a break, it's probably a sign that you need one, like straight up, because you shouldn't feel this super deep need to go pro. Like, you shouldn't, honestly, man. Not saying that it's not normal. It's completely normal. It's completely expected. But it's just like, life's too short. Life's too short to be worried about like just simple, like, vain things, as just like careers and stuff. Like, there's so much more to be had in life, right? Like family, you know, God, relationship with God. If I don't know if you guys have that or not, whatever. I'm not trying to get into that. There's a lot of higher order goods. Okay, there's a lot of higher order goods out there beyond a career, right? Careers are cool, dope, but it shouldn't be everything, and you shouldn't have this fucking deep need, right? Because you can tell the difference between a need and a passion. A need is just like you're scared of the alternative. A passion is, I just want to play. Like, I just love this game, so I just want to play. But like a need is like, I need to play. Like, if I don't, blank happens. If I don't, blank, bad thing. Fill in the blank. I don't know. This is a long video, man, and my fucking friends are calling me to come play Terraria or some bullshit. I don't know. Hopefully you can relate to this. I'm probably gonna end up making more videos. Low effort. I might end up streaming soon or something. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. That's how I feel right now. I'm only gonna do it if it's enjoyable. I want to see if that's true. I want to see how well I perform. I was thinking about playing a season with my friends, just season open, or with just random people, just to have fun. Show up and have fun. So we'll see how it goes. And yeah, hopefully this video helped, man. Okay, so before I go, I do not plan on abandoning this channel no matter what happens in my life, right? I plan on working with esports teams and pursuing psychology more and like the mental health stuff. I will always end up coming back and posting videos. If I end up on a pro team, or if I end up just as a counselor, like end game, I want to like end up almost kind of like Healthy Gamer GG, and just I'll be down just to interview players and do like a little session, like a mini therapy session on stream or something. Like, why do you get shaky when you play? Like, you know, like what the fuck? Or why do you get nervous in a 1v1? Like, you know, let's dive into that. Shit like that, and just like help players become better players and just be like a coach, you know? So we'll see where it goes, but hopefully this should help, man. I will see you guys soon. Peace out. Love you. God bless.